Welcome to the Snazzy Sage podcast. I'm Dr. Carrie, your host and coach. Each week, I chat with remarkable guests who are thriving in their next chapter with confidence, purpose, and style. Because the next chapter isn't about age, it's all about attitude. Let's dive in. Today's guest is my good friend Keith Partington, an RIT graduate who spent 28 years in sales at Microsoft. In retirement, he volunteers as co-chair of the Landmark College Advisory Council, supports Rochester Accessible Adventures, leads the Microsoft Alumni Network in the Northeast, and serves on the Victor Central School's Educational Foundation. He's also the author of the book Fraternal Resolve, with the sequel Workforce Resolve due in November 2025, as well as the eBook Canalway Challenge Library Tour, chronicling his 365-mile ride to 31 libraries along the Erie Canal. Welcome to the show, Keith. How are you?
Great, Carrie. Thanks for having me this morning.
I am so excited that you're here. You have such an incredible story and background. I'm so excited for you to share it with our audience. Can you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Sure. I grew up in a town called Victor in upstate New York. And at the time, there were about 220 kids in the class. And then it became one of the fastest growing school districts in the state. And there's probably class sizes of 400 now. So it was interesting to kind of grow up in that environment. And then I stayed in this community. I went to a local community college and did a 2+2 and went to RIT, which was a great opportunity to save some money and then get some great college experience at both places. And then when I graduated from RIT, it was an interesting time, and I decided to go on and try and get a master's. So I started working at RIT for free tuition, and then I was doing what they called the computer bridge program. So I was taking math and computer science. But interestingly enough, the personal computer was just breaking wide open. So I took a class on what was called 2020. It was an early spreadsheet. And I just fell in love with that and the personal computer. So I stopped with computer programming and went into more of the sales and marketing side of the personal computer and just hit the timing just right. So had a great upbringing here in upstate New York.
That's terrific. Well, both of us went to the same high school, grew up in the same town. Victor High School, as you mentioned, has grown from what I remember knowing everyone in my class to being an amazing, almost college campus-like school and terrific education. I read through your bio and saw that you worked at Microsoft. Could you share a little bit more about that?
Yeah, as I talked about when I got out of RIT, and I sort of caught that personal computer bug. I started working for a local, back then they called them value-added resellers that would sell software and hardware. And I made a connection with someone from Microsoft. And I was actually one of the first employees, the first full-time employee in upstate New York for Microsoft. So it was a great opportunity to start. And interestingly enough, I talked about 2020, which was a spreadsheet. I got hired as an Excel specialist. Excel had been out on the Macintosh and was about to take off on the Windows platform. And so you can see where you can tie in your past experiences to future job opportunities. And it was great.
That's terrific. And I know I'm going to sound like a total nerd, but I love Excel. For me, working on spreadsheets, it actually calms me down and relaxes me because you can't be thinking about what am I going to have for dinner or what am I going to do tomorrow? You're totally focused, and it's amazing what it can do for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I love Excel too.
So you're very heavily involved in a number of different alumni organizations. Can you share with us more information about that?
One of my retirement goals was to be involved in the alumni community for my local high school. So I'm on the alumni, the school foundation, and I manage alumni connections and then the alumni association. And I'll tell you, I didn't really realize at the time, but the best part of it is the alumni storytelling. The stories are amazing, and not only the story of what they do, but how they got there. I just love it.
And that's terrific. And Keith, you've done such an incredible job of sharing alumni stories from our school. You can find stories of Victor alumni on LinkedIn, on the newsletter, on the Facebook alumni group, anywhere else.
Yeah, we try to push those out to different channels, but we do have our own LinkedIn group. And then we do have a podcast now where we take the best stories and then push those out to the wider LinkedIn community. It's the Victor Alumni Podcast, and I tapped Bob Dresty, who graduated in the same school we did. And then he interviews about 4 to 6 people a year and pushes those stories out. It's been great. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Can you talk to us a little bit more about the Microsoft alumni that you're involved in?
Microsoft Alumni Organization, it's about 290,000 global former workers of Microsoft that are just in every realm of different jobs and opportunities. We have a matching program when we volunteer. They match $10 an hour. We get free technology, access to the company store. But what I find is the access to the community has been great. So whether I started my first book or I'm doing some nonprofit stuff, there's always someone in that community that can help me, or there's always people that need help and I can help. So I manage the Northeast states for the Microsoft Alumni Network. So wearing those two alumni hats, my former high school and then my former company, it's just so much fun.
And it's so great on giving back, and you're very involved in a number of volunteer organizations. Can you share more information about that?
Well, my mom was a lifelong volunteer. And then when I got at Microsoft, really the culture was very early on focused on the great stuff we were doing with software, but how we could help our communities. So it's always been a part of me to be able to give back. And then, when I left Microsoft and retired, I felt like that really is my purpose, is to be out and help people. And the nice thing about the way I'm able to do it is I'm time slicing across a whole different group of nonprofits. And so it keeps me fresh. I learn a lot of new things and meet a lot of new people. And it's just been a great way since I've left Microsoft 6 years ago to keep me busy.
And although you're retired, it sounds like you're working one, two, or three jobs right now.
Yeah, a lot of different hats. It's fun.
It's so important that companies have a social responsibility, give back to the community, and we don't hear often the behind the scenes in the news. So it's great to hear the level of involvement that Microsoft and its employees are involved with social responsibility.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keith, you had shared with me a while ago that one of your dreams was to become an author, and you've written a series of books and have a new one, a sequel that's coming out. Can you share with us your journey in becoming an author?
Yeah, it's a great story in the sense that I started writing in 1991. I had just been at Microsoft a couple years, and I had a home office full of publishing equipment. I had like a laser printer, a Mac, and a PC, but I had a laptop, and I was traveling a lot. I was going to Seattle, and I was on planes and working a lot. So I needed a hobby. So I decided writing could be a good hobby. And I had an idea for a book. So wherever I was taking red eyes back from Seattle, I could be working on my book. And I got the first draft was done maybe in about 90, it took a couple years. And I took a couple classes at Writers and Books in Rochester. And then I worked on the second version. But then you sort of get involved with family, your children growing up. And then during COVID, it became a great chance to just finish it up and get the first one out.
COVID really, there was a lot of tragedy that happened. The silver lining that came out was the time to focus on hobbies or things you've always wanted to do. And can you share with us some of the books that you've written?
The first one was Fraternal Resolve. It's a crime fiction drama set in upstate New York. And the interesting part, and some people will say, well, it took you so long to write your book. But that first draft captured 1992, and the book is set in 1992. So it was a classic way to have all that history, the technology, things going on in the world captured in that book. And that's one of the things people like about it. And the second thing they love is that it is set in upstate New York, and they love, seeing those parts of upstate New York, our community, Buffalo Bills transplanted in there. And the third part, they just love the characters. So it's been fun. I'm just about to release the sequel to that next month.
That's so exciting. And fiction's very challenging to write. And so you've written two.
Yeah. And I've got the third full draft is ready to go.
Keith, you also wrote a book about the canal. And I know you're an avid bike rider, and you were able to marry your love for bike riding along the Erie Canal. I just went with my dad last weekend on a bike ride. It was so beautiful. Can you share with us about that book?
It's actually the 200th year of the canal. And so there's a program called the Canalway Challenge that I started doing 5 years ago, where you can actually record bike, hike, kayak segments on the canal. And then you can pick your miles, and at the end, they send you some nice certificate and stickers and stuff. So I started that a few years ago. When I released the book, I came up with this idea to actually bike from Buffalo to Albany, which is 360 miles, and then hit every library on the canal. There's 31 of them. Most of
Wow.
them are within a mile of the canal. So it was a great way to hit each community because of its library and then donate my book. And then GRZ in Buffalo did a nice story on that. And now I've done the 360 three different times, biking from Buffalo to Albany. I do it in segments,
Okay.
sometimes some overnights, but just a fantastic opportunity to see the kind of the culture, the communities in upstate New York, museums, breweries, food. We
Mm.
just live in such a great state. It's called the Canalway Challenge. It's a program that anybody can participate in.
That sounds a lot like a lot of fun. Such a great way to celebrate upstate New York as well. Well, Keith, at Snazzy and Sage, we like to ask a few questions. First, I wanted to get your view. How do you view aging?
If you could say, tell me one word that you could use to substitute for aging, I think I'd call it experience. So really, there's a couple of different ways to answer that question because the experiences that you get through the aging process with family and friends and work and school and the learnings is all part of what we continue to grow and take with us. And I've found that invaluable set of experiences and community have served me well in retirement. A lot of people will talk about it's difficult now as you get more senior from a job perspective, finding new jobs. But if everybody can just stay focused on the skills and experiences that we bring, and that's on the hiring side. Hey, look at the skills and experiences we bring, and also our confidence. And I know you do a lot to help people. It can be tougher as you age or gain experience to have that full confidence. Will they want me? They'll absolutely want you because you have such great skills and experiences to bring.
Absolutely. And I love that switching the word from aging to experience because I think people do get down and do get scared and do lose their confidence. But we have so much experience of things we've gone through and wisdom and patience is one I still haven't figured out.
Yeah, you and me both.
Keith, how do you find joy? What makes you excited?
I think, and Microsoft, and again, talking about my mother's volunteerism, kind of helped me find that sense of purpose. When I retired, keeping focus on the purpose and then fulfilling that in the ways, through volunteering with different groups. And that keeps me happy and excited and really just a joy to do that every day.
Keith, what is your go-to style piece?
A lot of volunteering I do, I'm out kayaking, doing some accessible and adaptable sports and things like that. But in the winter, it's pretty much been hoodies and flannel. And then my business casual is probably a small B business, large C casual. So I think they refer to this as geek graph paper shirt. So this is one of those old wardrobe pieces that I have that's kind of a business casual shirt. And so now in talking to you, I started thinking about that. It probably is time because I'm doing a lot of public speaking to refresh my wardrobe. So we're going to have to talk about that offline.
Absolutely. Keith, if someone wanted to follow you on social media, where
Sure.
can people get in touch with you?
My go-to communities are Facebook and LinkedIn. I always tell people if you want to connect with someone on LinkedIn, make sure you send them the little message. I'm
Mhm.
this person and I thought of you because of this, and this is why I want to connect.
Yes.
And more than likely, if someone does that and it's a good opportunity for both of us, it's a great way to connect and grow both of our networks.
Terrific. And for the Victor alumni that are listening, where can they find out more information about the alumni group?
We have the Victor Central School Alumni Organization has a Facebook group. It's a closed group for alumni. And then we'll let you in as soon as you come out and find us. And then we have the same thing, Victor Central School Alumni. It's a private group on LinkedIn. Alumni storytelling, we tell more of the professional stories on LinkedIn, and we do that weekly. And
Mm,
then we share a lot more about friends and family and lives on Facebook.
okay, terrific. Keith, what's next for you?
Well, I want to get this next book out. And then I'm sort of getting to the point. I've been doing maybe a big travel trip every other year. So I think it's kind of time. I want to do a lot of the national parks in the US and then, some more out of country travel. So I'm going to start to blend in a little bit more travel with my lovely wife, Deb, who's also retired. We have our grandson here 3 days a week, which has been a blast. So that's a lot of fun. But we're going to start to blend in a little bit more travel now.
Oh, that sounds great. And what a beautiful way to see the country going to visit the national parks.
Yeah, we're excited.
Keith, is there anything else you'd like to share?
I wanted to thank you for having me today. As I talk about sharing alumni stories, it's a funny story. I have a few of our alumni that we call the Five Timers Club, like SNL has their Five Timers
Yeah.
Club. And Carrie, there's been enough stories because of her interesting background. We've shared five or more stories on her.
Hey.
So she's doing a great job, not only doing new and interesting things, but sharing that out with our community.
Oh, well, I'm a big fan of our alumni and, folks like yourself and your wife and your family. Keith, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for tuning in to Snazzy and Sage. If you loved today's episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend. Want to elevate your style and confidence? Visit snazzyandSage.com to explore individual and group coaching that helps you look and feel your best from the inside out. Until next time, stay snazzy.